Since 3 days ago, what has been happening? A report purporting or coming from the Office of the Special Prosecutor trying to indict the Deputy Commissioner of Operations and myself. And anybody who has read that report very well will know the basis of that. And luckily for me, God is always on my side. Before that report came, that person had made a statement to some people who had come to them. He was going to publish something that will discredit me, and he will do that. And I even sent people to go and tell him that he's a small boy. I'm older than him. I have lived a meaningful life. If he attempts to destroy me, it won't be easy for him. People have tried it. I have survived. And this one too, I'll survive. All that happened. One of the reasons was because of Mr. Akurugu. He wanted Mr. Akurugu to be seconded to his office. And I said no. Mr. Akurugu is a customs officer, primarily employed to do customs work. And he is to partner Mr. Akutofachin in that office, African Continental Free Trade Area. He deals with tariffs and valuation. And therefore, I cannot second him to the office of the Special Prosecutor because he has a primary role to play in customs. And then he comes back through the Commissioner General. And again, I said, I insist and will go by that he has a primary role. It is when I don't have a role for him or I can dispense with his services, I have others to do what he's going to do, that I will give him to you. So I insist. And he calls me to his office when in relation to La Bianca. And at the end of it, he talks to me about this same matter. And I said, yes, it is not the Commissioner General. I wrote it. Go and check it. And I have my reasons. He will not be released to you. He will be in customs. And then behind me, he goes to resign. He's given the position of Commissioner of Police a rank, and he's now with your office. And he goes to make allegations that Mr. Duce and myself, we hit him, and they will deal with us. So that is it. That is the basis of that publication. But if you read it very well, there's nothing in it. It's hollow. It's actuated by malice. And those who are behind it, they know themselves. They know themselves. They've tried it several times. It is not working, and it won't work. I'm ready for any prosecution. That's what he must do. Not to say that they should do further investigations up to 2017. Up to 2015, I have letters written by Deputy Commissioner Demis Agavo granting similar things. And I produced them when he called me. He didn't have the letters, but I had the letters. My predecessor, Mr. Crenson, had those letters. This is common practice in customs. If you want to remove me, I have no problems. I won't be Commissioner Customs forever. I'm ready to go. But don't disgrace me.
By Section 12 of our law, the same Customs Act gives advance ruling. And the import of advance ruling is that someone who is bringing in goods can come and see Customs and say that I'm bringing this type of item, this quantity. And these are my values that the supplier wants to give to me to be able to buy. But I want to come and sit with you so that you reduce the value for purposes of application of the duty rate, the taxes that I'm going to pay. So let's say the supplier is prepared to give the item at $1,000, right? Because he's buying more, the supplier may give it even with a discount. Then he comes to say that, look, every month I'm going to buy so much, at least 200 containers of this item. And because customs is going to get reliable, sustainable source of revenue, can you now look at my value and reduce it, give me some discount? That is what the advance ruling talks about. La Bianca took advantage of this provision in the law and wrote to customs that they are supplying frozen food items. But each month, at least, they supply 200 containers. And for that, me as the commissioner, if you have one importer who gives you revenue regularly, sustainably, you'll be interested in that person. Because there are people who buy just one container, the whole year he won't buy another container. But this is the person who says every month I'm bringing 200, 300, 400. So that person is your regular, reliable stakeholder who will be giving you revenue. So it is the provision of the law that they took advantage of and wrote to customs, and customs agreed to give them discounts. Now, this was not started during President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's time. it started before that, during President Mohammed's time. And we had a deputy commissioner of customs called Mr. Gavo, who I have letters, that was what I was saying. I have letters that he has signed granting discount on import values to traders. And when MPP came to power, the first commissioner of customs, the one I took over from, Mr. Cranston, also met with importers of frozen food items. And they agreed that they will give them discounts on import volumes. And the letter showed that if you import between 1 and 20, this is the rate, 2%. If you import between 21 and 50, 5%. If you import between 50, 51 and 100, 7.5%. If you import in excess of 100 containers, then you get 10%. So the precedent is there, and this woman and other companies, not only La Bianca, took advantage of it and applied for and customs